Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Shall we begin this morning by standing as we're able and singing together?
Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Portland. We are a multi-generational, spiritually inclusive, and justice-centered community, and boy, do we have a need of those in these times. It is so good to be here with you this morning. Our overarching theme of the year is weaving community, and in the month of October, we are reflecting on interdependence as our way into that theme. And we will have two special guests from UU organizations that are interrelated with us. Today's guest, Heather Vickery, is from the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, with which we have had a very long time history. And the guest coming up on October 19th will be Pablo de Jesus, the Executive Director of UUs for Social Justice in Washington, D.C. Heather Vickery, let me share a little about her, is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's coordinator for congregational activism, and her role is to support UU congregations who want to do their social justice work more effectively and faithfully. And indeed, many of us spent time with Heather yesterday at a social justice retreat. Heather works deeply for trans and migrant liberation through the Pink Haven Coalition and the Community Accompaniment Program with asylum seekers. And she's also a student in formation at Starr King School for the Ministry. We are so delighted to have you with us today. And I want to make sure everybody hears that following the service, there will be an accompaniment workshop, which Heather will be leading, about our work to companion our trans kin, our neighbors who are houseless, and also immigrants who are so targeted in our city right at this moment. And I have one more announcement. As someone reminded me, I have failed to tell you about this work of art in the front of our sanctuary. As we're exploring weaving, we have the weaving that you all created on our first Sunday. And here is a fiber arts piece done by David Snedden in terms of our theme of the year, Weaving Together. So all the fiber artists, I want you to send me an email because we would love to have ways to showcase your work throughout the year. And we might even draw you into a project or two. And now I would love to invite Anastasia to come forward and to help us light our chalice. And let us say together our unison affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love. And now, will you join me if you know the words? I want to offer one of our oldest covenants by James Villa Blake. Love is the Spirit, and I invite you, if you know it, to join me. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And to the children who are with us this morning, that is what we are about here.
My name is Aria. I've been coming to First Unitarian for all my life. We represent the children and youth of this church, and today we invite you to help us honor and bless the teachers, advisors, and other leaders who support our whole community with their creative, dedicated work with all of our learning community's young people.
I'm Beatrice, and I have been coming here for my whole life. The ministry of religious education is shared by many. If you serve as a teacher, advisor, committee member, substitute, or other role this year, please rise and remain standing. If you, as a learning community leaders, will offer your time, wisdom, and care so our children and youth can be held in love as we grow spiritually, connect relationally, and confidently explore our place in the world. Please say, "We will."
Thank you. Please be seated. We now ask the ministers and staff to rise. If you, our ministers and staff, will support this church as a place of welcome and engagement for people of all ages and life stages, please say, "We will."
We will. Thank you. Please be seated. If you are a member, friend, or otherwise caring person in this community, please rise. We come together as a living church. It is often said that young people represent the future. That is true, but children, along with the rest of us, also make up our present, our now. We hope you take seriously the gifts and responsibility of being in a community that serves the young, old, and in between. We hope you will commit to learning about yourself and your own spirit alongside us, no matter what ages you are. If you will, please say, "We will."
We will.
Thank you. Please be seated. If you are a parent, grandparent, or caregiver who brings our young ones here, please rise. If you come here to understand your family as part of a vast network of life, and if you will let us support you as you support your family, please say, "We will."
Thank you. Please be seated. If you, like us, are a child or youth, please rise. If you will be part of this church, be a friendly presence to others, offer your own leadership, and try to have fun and meaningful time here, please join us in saying, "We will." We will. Thank you. You may sit down.
I want to in turn to thank and recognize Aria and Beatrice, who are among some of the important elders of this congregation, having been here their whole lives. I'm personally grateful for their leadership in the youth group and beyond, so thank you, thank you. And will you all join me in just a simple time of prayer? Just a chance to be grateful together in whatever kind of quiet space feels holy to you. Let us take a moment to find a space of gratitude for our young people. There are many places to be and things to do on Sunday morning, and our kids and their families choose to come here. May we never lose sight of what an honor that is. We cannot give them an ideal world, but we can be in this one with them. Let us send out gratitude to those serving as teachers and advisors. These people who have made a deep and a dear commitment to learn alongside our children and youth. Their service helps us all move into the great covenant of being together in one church. Let us celebrate our babies, our kids, our youth, all of our families of so many iterations. Let us do this by loving this world as it is and as it should be. We can do this by sharing the living wisdom of our Unitarian Universalist religious traditions. We can do this by being part of this woven tapestry of so many life stages. Amen. And so now it is time for some of us to move next door to RE. So if you are a new family, or if you just haven't registered yet, then please meet me in the lobby. We would love to show you where to go, especially visitors. Grown-ups with kindergarten and first graders, please just hop out with us so that you can sign a permission slip for your kids to take their annual neighborhood tree walk. It's gonna be fun. Let's sing our hymn of blessing as the children, youth, and RE leaders take their leave.
And now I invite everyone who is here to turn and greet your neighbors in the sanctuary or to greet your neighbors in the chat online. And now I invite you to remain seated as we share in our responsive reading, which comes from a chapter in a chapter in the UU Pocket Guide written by Elizabeth Wynn called Our Work for Social Justice. As Unitarian Universalists, our journey is to transform the big and small, to transform ourselves, and to transform the world. Universalism means no one is outside of the circle of love, and no one is disposable. No one is outside the circle of love, and no one is disposable. We stubbornly seek out the spark of the divine in each other, no matter what. Interdependence means none of us is truly free until we are all free, and our thriving is bound up in the earth's thriving. None of us is truly free until we are all free. We struggle for liberation from the violence of white supremacy, sexism, ableism, classism, and heterosexism. Our covenants mean we make promises to our communities to honor love and justice above all else. We make promises to honor love and justice above all else. May these words sow seeds in our hearts this morning. And now I have a little bit of information about church happenings. If you are new to this congregation, or if you've been around for a while, you are invited to come to the First Steps class after the service this morning at 11:45. You can meet other newcomers and learn more about Unitarian Universalism and this congregation and what it means to be a member. And there will also be a tour of the facility as part of the class. And when people go on this tour for the first time, they're pretty excited to discover all the nooks and crannies that exist in this congregation. I want to remind you earlier that I shared that Heather Vickery is going to be leading a workshop on accompaniment at 12 p.m. in our Elliott Sanctuary, and all are invited to come if they are able. Next Sunday, October 12th, from 1 to 4 p.m., we are hosting a training on nonviolent de-escalation, and this is for folks who want to deepen their skills for being present, grounded, and responsive at protests, demonstrations, or other community actions. Longtime community activist Malcolm Scott will lead us in this dynamic workshop that will feature role-playing and embodiment of other skills. And we will also review the Know Your Rights at protests. And registration is required, and you can click on the link in our Front Steps email in order to sign up. And then I'm inspired to add our children and youth charged us with our own learning and growth. So I just want to make sure that you all know that Reverend Tom and I will be starting exploring your faith curriculum. Last year we did it with the folks in their 20s and 30s. Now it's open to people of all ages, and it'll be once a month on the second Wednesday of the month at 5:30 to 7 starting in November. So there are many ways to nurture your spiritual growth in this congregation, and many others are offering wonderful classes this fall too. And finally, we won't have a welcome circle because of the First Steps, but if you are new and have any questions, come see me following the service. I would be delighted to talk to anyone who's here for the first or second time. And now it is the time in our service when our morning's offering is given and received. First, we receive the gift of music, and then we share our financial gifts. And today we are really, really thrilled in terms of our interdependence with the UUSC to share that our offering will go to Pink Haven. And up front, I want you to know that we're going to be raising money, sharing the plate with Pink Haven this week and next week. And one of our congregants has offered a generous match for every dollar that we give away to the UUSC. And now I want to tell you just a little bit about Pink Haven. The UUSC supports the Pink Haven Coalition, a collaborative trans-led effort with kindred UU organizations and other people of conscience to advance trans liberation. This coalition works to create networks of care and safety for trans people and their families in the United States who need to flee to more welcoming locations to access health care and services or to stay as safe as possible where they are. And I also want you to know that we are launching and had the first meeting of our core team for a trans welcome ministry last night. We met with Heather and we're about to get started. If you'd like to donate via check or cash this week and next week, our ushers are going to be coming around in just a moment. If you're at home, you can use the QR code on your screen. If you're here, you can use one of the slips in front of you that has the QR code. And if you're on Boxcast, you can also use the Donate Now button. Thank you for your generosity. It fuels ministries of love. We make space each week to hold the sorrows, the cares, the transitions, and the celebrations of our fellow congregants since we last met. Some we share aloud that you send us during the week, and others we make space for in the quiet time that follows our prayer and through candlelighting in the gallery in the left, or prayer offerings in the chat online. And your lay ministers and ministers pray these prayers with you throughout the week. Today, I have one pastoral joy to share. Some of you will remember Jennifer Springsteen, a former member of our congregation who left some years ago to begin her studies for the UU ministry. Jennifer has now been granted preliminary fellowship from the Ministerial Fellowship Committee at the UUA. She is living in Virginia and working as a chaplain. Jennifer served as our head usher when she was here, and she also taught a number of classes in our adult faith formation program. Jennifer, I hope that you get to see this and know that we are sending all of our prayers and wishes to you for a joyful beginning. And Jennifer sometimes appears at our Vespers services on Friday evenings. She's been known to offer a reflection here and there, so look for her name in front steps. Will you join with me in a spirit of reflective meditation and prayer? Spirit of life, teach us to be like the leaves in the fall, learning how to let go of what holds us back from the changes needed to nourish life in this season. Teach us to be like children in the leaves in the fall, never missing an opportunity to jump joyfully into what is colorful, and then to carry home something of beauty to fashion into an art piece to adorn our home. Teach us to be like trees in the fall, both sharing our many and myriad gifts with the world, which so desperately has need of what we can give away, and then taking the time to turn inward for rest, for slumber, for renewal. Teach us to be like the trees around us with deep roots grounded in our Mother Earth, with an awareness of our interdependence with all that is. Teach us to be like the trees which surround us. Make us resilient through the devastating fires and storms, and capable of reaching for the sky once more, co-creating life anew in the very spot where it was once threatened. All these things, and so many others, are our prayers, our meditations, and our yearnings. Amen, and blessed be every single one, and may it be so. And now let us turn inward for a time of offering our own prayers in this sacred silence. Let us fill up this space, reaching for love. Will you rise in body or in spirit, and let us join in our doxology.
Our reading today is called Trans Joy by Jess Martinez Hunt. I didn't grow up with trans joy. I grew up with longing, quiet adjustments, and learning how to make myself acceptable. I spent years thinking I was broken, desperately trying to fit into something that was never meant for me. I thought that was just life, fighting for every inch of belonging. Then my daughter Atticus came into the world, whole and bright and unabashedly herself, an embodiment of absolute joy, proudly declaring, "I, Atticus," when asked if she was a girl or a boy. She knew who she was and refused to let anyone tell her otherwise. For a while, I let myself hope that she wouldn't have to learn the same survival skills that I did. Maybe she could just be. My daughter deserves a world where she isn't forced to fight so hard to exist. One where her joy is expected, nurtured, and uplifted. A world where trans joy is a certainty. Trans joy is sacred, a radiant and unshakable force that refuses to be diminished, a testament to resilience, authenticity, and love. It is communal, a light passed from one to another, illuminating the path towards a liberation where we can simply be. Holy in its honesty and wholeness, it offers a glimpse of our world as it should be. Not small, not an afterthought, not a reward for enduring suffering. Trans joy is life itself. Bold, expansive proof that we are real, that we belong, that we have always been enough. That world doesn't exist yet, not the way it should. Until it does, I'll make sure that Atticus never doubts her worth. I'll show her that trans joy isn't just possible, it's powerful. It's bigger than the struggle, louder than the hate, more enduring than fear. I'll make sure she faces a future where she isn't just fighting to exist, but living fully, freely, and without apology. In a world that so often seeks to erase, silence, or diminish trans lives, our joy is more than resistance. It is a defiant declaration, an absolute refusal to shirk or shrink, a spirited promise that trans folks won't just survive, we will thrive. What a hard act to follow. Good morning, friends. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here with you all this weekend. These are some difficult times we're living in, huh? It just seems like the hits keep on coming and bad news is everywhere. I mean, your city is being threatened with occupation by our federal government right now, so that's wild. Our trans and migrant siblings are being criminalized, and fascism is on the rise around the world. So if you're willing and able, please raise your hand if you felt despair or anguish at the state of the world in the last week. Yeah. Now, raise your hand if you are struggling to know what to do or how to resist this increase in fascism. And keep them up for a bit. Just take a moment to look around. You are not alone. You can put your hands down if you want. Alice Walker says that resistance is the secret to joy. And I think we can all understand that. As people of faith and conscience, not resisting this is hard to imagine right now. But it can be just as hard to figure out how to resist. The good news is that the inverse to Alice Walker's quote is also true. Joy is the secret to resistance. Fascism and authoritarianism wants us to be afraid and disconnected. They fear our joy because it's infinitely bigger than the boxes they want to put us in. So practicing joy in moments like this is resistance, and it's essential. We can look to past struggles to see how true this is. Dan Savage, who writes for The Stranger in Seattle, says, "During the darkest days of the AIDS crisis, we buried our friends in the morning, we protested in the afternoon, and we danced all night. The dance kept us in the fight because it was the dance we were fighting for. It didn't look like we were going to win then, and we did. It doesn't feel like we're going to win now, but we could. Keep fighting, keep dancing." And please know that when I say joy is resistance, I don't mean ignoring the reality we're in. Joy is not the same as happiness or comfort. Joy has room for grief and fear. Joy just knows that those aren't ever the only things. Joy recognizes that there can still be beauty, community, solidarity, silliness, and more, even during the toughest times. They're just harder to find. And because of that, they can be even more rewarding when we do find them. One of my favorite examples of folks already practicing and creating joy together while holding grief and fear is the work of UUSC partner Tetoa Matoa. Tetoa Matoa, based in Kiribati, is dedicated to preserving traditional cultural practices through an inclusive approach, highlighting the importance of safeguarding culture in the face of climate change, and making sure the rich heritage of their islands are accessible to all, especially those with disabilities. You see, the islands of Kiribati are projected to be fully underwater in the next 20 to 30 years due to coastal erosion and water rise. And our partners like Tetoa Matoa allow for the grief of losing their traditional and ancestral land through no fault of their own. And they also make time for joy, for the joy of music and culture and community, and have been working with UUSC to provide instruments to community members so that joy and community can be brought into the future. Tetoa Matoa knows that supporting their community as they face the devastating impacts of climate change, while also championing the rights of Indigenous Kiribati people living with physical and mental disabilities, is a way to practice joy. Through storytelling and music, they demand recognition, dignity, and inclusion. Not just in policy, but in the very fabric of their society and everyday life. You can share in more of their musical joy by looking for some of their music videos on YouTube. Dr. Tanmeet Sethi, who wrote the book Joy is My Justice, says, "I do not mean that you should accept inequality or injustice as unchangeable truths. Just the opposite. When you find your own joy and create a personal path to justice, which only you can forge, you are better able to right unfairness in the world because you have risen into your power first." And that's the key. We must find small and large ways to rise into our power and to keep our focus on what we're struggling for, so we don't get overwhelmed by what we are struggling against. Another UUSC partner that has been mentioned already today, the Pink Haven Coalition, is also practicing joy as a way to create justice. So much of the trans experience in this country right now is full of fear. People are receiving death threats and are experiencing violent attacks while also being dehumanized and criminalized by our own government. Yet the Pink Haven Coalition, which many UUs across the country are a part of and you all are joining, has helped so many folks, over 1,000 in fact, relocate to safer places and connect with welcoming and loving communities. An example of practicing joy, even in the toughest times, was when a family reached out to us and let us know that they had received death threats and had been doxxed, i.e. their personal information had been publicized. With very short notice, we were able to connect with folks in the city that they were relocating to, and they decided to welcome that family to their new home with balloons and signs of love and welcome gifts, so that they knew that not only would they be safer there, but that they were loved. And it may seem small, a couple balloons, a sign or two, but we heard back from that family that they had never felt so loved, so accepted, and so welcomed before in their entire lives. And again, these acts of joy are not to be confused with toxic positivity, which would tell that family, once they arrived, that everything was okay, to forget about the trauma and to just move on. Those welcoming trans folks and their families know that the real hard work begins once people arrive, that their new homes will not be perfect, and that we can't fix the world for them, even if we really want to. Instead, by practicing joy, we refuse to give up on love. We refuse to make ourselves or anyone else smaller out of fear. We refuse to be anything other than fully human with each other, even when we're struggling. Another UUSC partner that is a perfect example of this is Asylum Pride House in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Asylum Pride House is at the intersection of migration, LGBTQIA issues, and housing insecurity. So they are in it right now. They have a 5-bedroom house where they support and house and support with case management LGBTQIA asylum seekers from around the world. The founder and executive director of Asylum Pride House has said that after working in immigration for over 10 years, this is the worst and hardest it's been for her, the staff, and the residents to maintain hope and motivation. That's one of the reasons why they chose community-style housing, so that the queer asylum seekers can escape the isolation that is so common for that group. Previous residents also come back to Asylum Pride House to help with tasks or just to visit with current residents and give hope to them as a beacon of what is possible. It isn't uncommon for the house to host community dinners with current and previous residents and staff, including queer asylum seekers from South and Central America, Asia, and Africa all together. And if that isn't a joyful vision of the beloved community, I really don't know what is. So what can we all do to practice joy and to resist dehumanization and the rise of fascism in our country? That seems really big, but we need to get small. We must practice imagining the world we want, and as Ruha Benjamin says in Imagination, a Manifesto, don't shine a light only on the deadly imaginations and social orders that are killing us, but experiment and play with new prescriptions, visions, and forms of social organization. We need to stay aware of what's going on that is harming those most vulnerable, but we also need to share the joyful ways people are already resisting and have always resisted oppression, just like the stories that I've shared with you today. And when we're together like we are today, we need to keep the vision of the world we want, hold it close, and imagine ways we can start living into that in the here and now. After the service at coffee hour, for example, look for a way you can make someone smile. Compliment them. Tell them a dad joke. Ask someone if they need a hug. Anything. Spark gender joy in our trans and gender expansive beloveds by working hard to get their pronouns right. Know that every time you use someone's correct pronouns, you make a fascist sad. Be the person who says their own pronouns without being asked, so that others feel more comfortable sharing their own, so that they know that you're an ally and an accomplice. Explore your own gender expression and wear it boldly. Find ways to bring joy into your own life so that you can stay in the struggle and be the best version of yourself while you resist. I am someone who organizes for trans liberation and migrant rights, and I'm often tired and angry at the world. And something I've started to do lately that has been amazingly helpful is creating pine cone critters and creatures that I randomly leave around my neighborhood. And yes, they have googly eyes. I feel joy in the making of them. I feel joy thinking about other people finding them. And I keep coming back to them when things get hard. Feel free to ask to see some pictures of them after the service if you want. So I'm going to ask you all to do a little visioning right now. I want to take a moment and close your eyes if that helps. And I want you to think about one thing that has brought you joy this year. Anything. Try to bring yourself back to that moment, or imagine you're with that person, or doing that thing right now. And now take a moment and think, what is at the root of that joy? Is it community? Is it creativity? Is it family? What is the essence of that joy for you? Your homework for the week will be to use that essence of joy as a jumping off point to create your own joyful practice that you can use to keep yourself balanced and whole. Feel free to steal the pinecone critter thing if that's something that works for you. Ask for help in thinking of something if you need to. Some people find a lot of joy in helping others, so you could be helping that person find their joy too. Be weird, be queer, be beautiful and fully human. Do art, take naps, play, keep dancing. Because again, that is what we are struggling for, the dance. And I think we can all admit that a dance battle is a whole lot more fun than any other kind. Amen, ashe, and may we keep dancing.
So don't forget, for those who are new, there's a First Steps class following the service. There's an opportunity to spend some more time with Heather envisioning the future. And next week, Super Sunday resumes, and all of you will be invited into a project to weave our history together. And now, in our going, may the light of love bless us and keep us. May it shine down upon us. May it be gracious unto us, and may it radiate out from among this full-hearted people. For this is the day that you and I are given, so let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace, practice love, practice joy. Let's say that together one more time. Practice joy. Amen.